Hey Chris, how's it going?
Jenny, I really appreciated being in your classroom, watching you teach because, you know, science is not something that I know a lot about, and so it was really interesting to me to see what you're talking about. I mean, you know, about physical and chemical changes. So I like that. I thought it was really interesting because it's something that I'm interested in, but I don't know a lot about, and I really like that I could see most of your students were pretty engaged in it. So what do you feel like went well?
I really liked the way that the students worked together in their paired reading. I didn't have trouble with students refusing to read. Everyone was taking a turn.
Yeah.
One was reading, one was writing notes. It seemed like that they were all focused on that and on task. So I was really pleased. Sometimes I worry if they'll make fun of each other with their reading, and of course we talked about that before.
They are 8th graders,
yes,
after all.
So I thought that was really successful. I was really happy with hearing them reading, seeing them focused in writing and paying attention and taking turns.
So what exactly are you working on right now in your classroom?
The standard in their 8th grade science score is on changes in matter, things that happen to matter, and chemical reactions are chemical changes. And so we're comparing physical changes that can happen to matter to chemical changes that can happen to matter.
I see. So the focus right now then is on the chemical versus the, what was that, the physical changes. Oh, okay.
And also they need to know examples. They've got to pick out examples and from an example explain which it is and why.
All right, yeah. I did notice that almost all of them were actively engaged, one with the other, and then they traded pretty well. They really did. What do you feel like maybe didn't go as well as you had hoped, or was there anything?
The part that bothered me was, and I'm not sure what to do about it, you notice some of the groups finished fast, some of the groups finished slower.
I did notice that, yes.
Because when I pair them, I try and pair high with medium, medium with low, not high with low.
That's a disaster.
Yes.
We've tried that before.
So
You're
the
right.
high and mediums are finishing, what would you say, 5 minutes at least before the others?
Yeah, some of them did.
Yeah. The really fast ones, they've got their paragraph all written, and then they're disrupting the ones who are still reading and still haven't even started on their paragraph yet, when others are all the way finished. So I had two concerns. One, students who are finished who are no longer engaged, and two, they're disrupting the students who aren't finished.
That is so true, because it's usually those really smart kids that get done and that are easily distracted because they're done.
And me telling them to get back on task or be quiet and patient, it's not really, didn't seem to be too effective.
I've seen some teachers that will add like an enrichment after for those that get done. It's not a punishment, it's not extra homework or anything, it's more of a fun thing. What do you think that you might incorporate as an enrichment for those students that do get done early?
Well, maybe I could have them, when they're finished, they've written their one paragraph.
The paragraph, yeah.
I don't want to make them write more paragraphs. I think they'd see that as a punishment. But maybe they could make up a list of physical and chemical changes that they'd seen or had happened to them that day. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe even a competition who could write the most.
8th graders do like that.
Physical and chemical changes.
Yeah. Well, you know something too that you might even add to that, because I've used it myself, and I've had other teachers too. Could they draw or illustrate some of these changes that I might see? Because, and I know you've seen it too, a lot of these kids will be doodling, you know, and that type of thing that will give an outlet for those that really enjoy that type of thing.
It's true. It might seem as less of extra work and more of a reward to some of them. Or maybe it could even be optional. Did they want to just list, or did they want to illustrate instead of write words?
Absolutely.
Just do pictures?
Give them a choice then, because some might prefer one and some might prefer the other. Yeah, that's a really good idea. So, how can I help you?
Well, maybe you could help me look for, if I do another enrichment activity or something to keep students on task after an assignment, maybe I could have you watch and see if my enrichment activity is something that the students are hating to do, or if they're engaged in it.
Yeah.
Are they actually enjoying it?
Yeah.
And it might also be even interesting to see how many are choosing to do words versus how many are choosing to do illustrations.
That is true. Maybe if you could give me like a seating chart or something like that, so I could tally it up. And although I do know a lot of the students, though, yes, which ones are actually engaged in the enrichment and whether or not they seem to be enjoying it, and which ones then are choosing to do the illustrations and which ones are writing it down. Is that what you are wanting me to do?
I think that would really be helpful for me to see if my enrichment, if I try that out, because haven't done it that much, not that good at it, if it's being effective.
Absolutely, I would love to come and do that. I think that'll be very interesting. Would it work for you, this very same class, in say like a week or so?
I think so. I think it'd be best because you already know what
Yeah.
this class is studying and have an
Absolutely.
idea
I
of
want
the dynamic.
to see what they're doing.
And I'll plan something accordingly with an enrichment so that you can
Yeah.
vouch for that.
Yeah, that'll be great. I'm looking forward to it.
All right,
Yeah.
so same
All right.
time next week?
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.